Okay, I'll start from you, Ruba.
Okay. So, how many trades I did last week was 30 trades. And how many winners and how many losers is 16 wins and 4 voting losses. But the winners are bigger than the losses. The losses is small, so that's good. And what worked for me last week with my trading is that I managed my losses because I entered into one trade that I should not, but I somehow managed to break even and close it. So, and what didn't work for me last week with my trading is what didn't work for me last week was that I delayed my checklist. That I do not want that to happen, but that happened. Why didn't it work for me? I don't have any good reason. It's just an excuse that something. So I didn't. I'm not gonna answer this question because I don't have any excuse for that. And what do I need to improve on for this week for my trading is maintaining consistency, good management of loss, and complete everything in the weekdays instead of pending for the weekend, and then weekends was busy and then again it's keep pending. And what emotional state were I was feeling last week was very relaxed and calm. And yes, how can I improve for this week is planning and taking action according to the plan. And what would I like to address to my coach and teacher assistants is that I have two things that if you can explain to me whenever you get a chance. One is like I made $58 last week and I was thinking to play with the $20 for this week. I want to keep the rest for myself just to maintain the consistency. But there was few trades on M2s, but I have only $20, so I enter just one trade which has the minimum loss. But I want to enter one more as well, but I don't want to exceed 20 as well, so I didn't enter. In that situation, I don't know what I did was right or what should I do it. And the second is I want to know, like, there is a maximum 3% in Australia. In what situation, so what has to happen according to the methodology and everything that I can exceed 3% just to maximize my profit? So these two things I want to know. And what would I like to be held accountable for this week is to maintaining consistency. And chapters I was still on the same that I did last week, so I haven't read the book further, and that's all. Oh yeah, my learning goals are to be consistently successful trader, and my behavioral goal is to manage my emotions, whether the trade is profitable or not, and it's going very well, but still sometime I just feel good or bad, so I want to be neutral in every situation so it won't affect my inner thoughts. And that's all for me.
Okay, so a couple of things. Let's go through about the definition of consistency in your own words. What does consistency mean to you, Ruba?
Consistency to me is the even though the small things, so just keep adding day by day everything, so at the end of the day, end of the month or year, so it keeps increasing. Consistency means keep going.
Okay, so now that your challenge last week was you delayed your trading checklist, so what difference can you make from last week to this week?
This week, so I want to because last week what I did was I enter into the trade, but I enter on the basis of the checklist, but I haven't completed. I just have the screenshot, and I was thinking to do it later because I was doing something else. And on the weekend it was so hodgepodge, and I don't know like which screenshot was there and this and that, so I can't manage to do my checklist. So this week I'm thinking to complete the daily work daily. Doesn't matter how far I can have to stay awake to complete my work. So I do not want to pan into the weekend.
Okay, so let's make it this way. If your project manager will give you a job to do and you're going to do it later too, what do you think will happen to your job?
There are chances that they can replace me with someone else.
Exactly. So what do you think is the difference between you being an employee and you being an employer working for your own?
Yeah, being employed, I cannot afford to delay. But being employer, I just delayed few times, but that I should not do that actually.
Yeah. So there should be a difference between an employer and an employee?
There is, because employee is responsible to employer. Not responsible means he's accountable for everything the employer told, but employer is on his own, so he don't have anyone to report to. So that's why maybe sometimes.
But in terms of the attitude and performance, it should be the same. Correct? Like in terms of responsibility. Because now you're responsible for your team environment, like meaning that if your project manager expects you to finish a certain job, then you have to give it, or else now everything will be on delay. Likewise, now with your work ethic, being self-employed as a trader, now look at what happened. You're now backlogged in terms of your work. You now tend to forget which one's which when you traded, and everything basically now you have to play catch up. So just imagine if you did the same being an employee, that if you played first rather than doing your job, your folder will keep backing up as well. And then your boss will keep asking, okay, so where's the report? Where's the report? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then final review comes into play. Ruba is this, needs more improvement with this. So, telling speaking, there shouldn't be any difference between self-employed and being an employee. Yes, it's easy to procrastinate, to make it, say, till tomorrow. I'll do it over the weekend. And it's normal to do that. I'm not going to lie to you either. I mean, from time to time I do the same, and all of a sudden, like, oh shoot, I have to catch up, play catch up. Now, provided that you are happy that when you choose to procrastinate, then you're happy within that moment that you procrastinated. Okay, so this is now why being an advanced member, I don't think you liked paying a big fine. I mean, I don't like paying a fine. So, and hence that's why the strict rules have to come into play right at this point in time. That if you didn't meet a certain demand in terms of your reporting, there goes basically a fine. And this is what I'm going to do as well this week. That if you traded and you're not going to give me your trading checklist straight away, pretty much within 24 hours, then you have to pay a fine each and every time. So we're going to play that. If not a fine, then you have to do it 20 times pretty much, from top to bottom. You have to write everything down from top to bottom 20 times. So you have a choice. Either you pay a $50 fine or you have to do it 20 times each and every time you miss finishing your trading checklist from top to bottom. Which one will you choose, Ruba?
I will finish my work on time, so I don't get to the situation where I have to do any of these two.
Okay, so that's the third choice. Now, if it happened though, which one will you choose?
I will do the 20 times one, so I won't do it again.
Okay, great. So that's basically, that will be your accountability in terms of you reporting to someone, because it's, to be self-employed, it's so easy to definitely don't worry about it, I'll do it later, because there's no one you to be accountable to, right, or accountable for. Okay, great. Likewise for reading a chapter, same thing. Why didn't you read a chapter this week?
Because I had a book from the library that I had to return it, so I was trying to finish that. The bounce one, I had bought it, so that's why I just delayed the bounce so I can complete the book from the library and return it. So I can't extend the book.
Gotcha. But if you notice the same pattern about delaying something, you could easily go to the library and borrow it again. That's an alternative, right? So, but if you look at the pattern is the same. You're delaying things. So that's why when you're doing one thing, you're doing everything. If it's not trading, it could be something else. To keep delaying certain things. That's why your homework is to meditate on it. What are the part of your life that you keep delaying things rather than doing it right now? So in other words, there's no priority. You're prioritizing certain things. So if you're going to be honest with yourself, what is trading to you? What does it mean to you? What priority is trading to you right at this point in time? Is it number one, number two, or number three? You don't need to answer that. You just have to be honest with yourself. Sit down and just be honest. Just say, okay, what is my priority? Where is trading right at this point in time? If you can answer that, you'll know exactly what to do. Especially when the momentum stops. This is actually how momentum basically gets broken. When you're in a streak, especially in winning or something like that, you get too comfortable, and then everything basically fails. It's like someone tries to lose weight. Once they met the goal, that's it. They think they'll just take it easy, then they go back to their old ways, they go back to their old habits, and then next thing you know, they're putting all the weight back in there, and then they're going to check their weight, like, oh no, I don't feel good. Now the momentum starts over again from day one, rather than maintaining the weight. That is now a really good definition about consistency, is that once you meet your goal, how can you be consistent by maintaining the same thing over and over again, and basically utilizing that to go to the next level? How can you push your limits to go to the next level, go to the next level, to go to the next level? I was watching actually today a documentary between two magnificent athletes that's going to fight basically in boxing on May 2nd U.S. time, Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. And for 5 years, actually, since 2009, they've been talking about this fight between them. 13, 14, 15, now 5 years, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 6 years to finally get these two top athletes to basically fight. So Mayweather said something really beautiful in terms of the documentary. He said, I'm going back to the gym, or actually started training back in the gym, and I'm pushing my limits. Why? Because I've never felt like this, where I want and want it so bad to win. And I know for sure that Pacquiao is also doing the same, pushing his own limits because he also wants to win. And now we are the best of the best of the best, but only one will win. So to be in that state, in terms of showing consistency, I mean, Mayweather hasn't basically lost. He's 47-0. Pacquiao is more than 50 odd something fights and 3 losses basically for him. So in order to prove that you are also a champion is to fight another champion. That's the only way in order for you to prove yourself that you are the best. So that being said, in terms of consistency, if you want to be consistent, then you also have to be consistent in terms of your work ethics. Now that makes a big basically that's the only difference I guess between someone who wins, who is successful, compared to someone who doesn't. And hence that's why 95% of traders fail to make money in the marketplace is because of the work ethic. 5% who make money consistently will never give up, will never make excuses. And this is something that people don't just basically understand, to be honest. I received basically an email from a member saying like, well, if advanced members has been consistent, then it's a bit of a worry. But what she doesn't realize is that these members are not thinking about the money that they're about to make. They're thinking about the process on how to make money for the long run. Trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. People always think that in the first 1 year or so, 3 years, that they can make money and be consistent straight away. No, it takes 10,000 more hours in order for you to be really consistent. The first 3 years of trading is basically a test. Can you keep going when the time comes when you keep losing, you're about to basically keep failing? These guys who's been more than close to a year, imagine the ups and downs of emotionality, and they keep going based on persistence. That's why they're good on now what they do, is because of that aspect. See, the 95% of retailers who lose in the marketplace, they have a different type of mentality. And this type of mentality is the mediocrity mentality. We, on the other hand, are not on the 95% of retail traders that trade in the marketplace. We are in a different breed. That's in my own honest opinion, and I'm very confident. I'm not coming from arrogance, it's just the way it is. So, that being said, if you can change the way how you think in terms of your work ethic, that there is no tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes, this is why I guarantee you your results will go to a different level. That's how you can maintain consistency. Consistency comes from today, not tomorrow, or tomorrow actually never comes. That's why if you're asking me, like, how do you... Now, there's a couple of things. One of the main questions that you ask is simply, I'm only willing to lose $20, basically, or risk $20 per trade. Now, if I don't have any more, if there's another opportunity, how can I put in if I already maximized the 20? See, same thing in terms of consistency. If you put your focus and effort with one, does it really matter by putting 3 or 4? No. Put one in terms of your energy and focus into one thing, make money on it, and go to the next one. You don't have to go through 3 or 4 different things, and now you're multitasking through 4 different things. If you cannot even finish one trading checklist, how can you do 3? How can you do 4? If that makes sense. Ruba.
Yeah.
And this applies to everybody basically in the room. See, in terms of consistency, in terms of group coaching, going to the classes, doing your homework, giving all of this, that takes a lot of integrity or some form of work ethic to be in that state. It's just a matter of how bad you really want it in order to get to where you're at. So I love watching basically competitions. I love being in competition mode because I know for a fact, even as a professional trader, someone is always gonna there to get me. And who is that someone else? Another trader who wants to be one of the best traders there is as well. So if I'm already competing against professional traders out there, institutional traders who have all the resources in the world, imagine another retailer who also wants the same, to be consistent and to make money, to make it work. So the question is he now going to be fighting with me, like in terms going to the opposite end? Maybe not. Because maybe what I'm saying is also the same with now what he or she's saying. I'm talking here now someone who's consistent. A retail trader, on the other hand, who thinks that they can make money from the markets, but they're the ones consistently losing the markets, they trade based on their own perception. These are the people that we want to beat each and every time that we're trading. But for us, in order to be on that stage, remember we have 5 different hats that we have to cover. And that being said, we need to be on top of things with all these 5 different things. If you miss one, so if you notice, your trading checklists have different stages in there, and you have to be on top of things with all those stages. If you're not on top of things, even just with one, those 4, it will fail actually, because every single one of them should be in the same synchronicity in order for it to work. Right? So these are the things that's why meticulousness. If you notice every group coaching, if you're not being meticulous, what happens? You fail. If I'm being meticulous, then you succeed. Meticulousness is the key that basically opens up, or in order for you to basically be consistent in order to make money from trading. It's meticulousness. But what does it take in order to be meticulous? Your work ethic has to be tip-top in order for you to be meticulous, where the priority is in there, you're focused, and there's nothing else except your work. So if you can say to yourself, I'm going to put in 1 hour 100% of my time, 200% of my time, just for 1 hour, then basically you've done your job. All right, great. Caitlin, your turn, please.
Okay, cool. So last week I got into 7 trades, and 4 of them were winners and 3 of them were losers. I won $108, and then I lost $123, so I ended up losing $14.88. Even though it was a good week for trades, and I'll get into that later. What worked last week was getting into M2s and M3s, going with the trend, and that worked because it's highly probable, and I feel like I'm getting kind of good at M2s and M3s. Anyway, what didn't work last week was micromanaging. So even though I did win more than I lost, I didn't make enough on the trades that I won on. And part of the problem I realized from class this morning was that I wasn't putting enough on the highly probable trades. So basically what we learned in class today is if you see a setup that you know works most of the time and it's like a royal flush in poker, you need to put a lot on it. It's just kind of stupid not to. If you know that you've seen it over and over and over again succeed, you need to put a lot on it. Or else your bad trades, just might overwhelm it. And but the main problem was micromanaging, and basically what would happen is I'd make so last week I realized that I was feeling bored, so what I would do is just check my trades when I was bored. So I was checking my trades all the time, and what would happen is I'd start to overanalyze them, and this happened on all my winning trades last week, where I would be over micromanaging and looking at it, and then I would take everything off after T1 was taken, and then it just like would tank or whatever, but like in my direction and make us so much more money. And I realized that I need to create micromanaging rules. So because if I would have followed set rules for each of those trades instead of going crazy micromanaging, I would have literally made probably like hundreds of dollars in the past couple weeks, and that's something I realized. So this week I'm going to be responsible for, or what's it called? Going to be held accountable for following my new anti-micromanaging rules on every single trade I take this week and just trying it out. So those rules are that basically after I place a trade, I'm going to set up an alarm to send me a text message as soon as the target that I want to start, that I want to place. So basically, when in directional trades, when it hits T2, I want to start, I want to move my stop to break even and trail the rest. And in non-directional trades, when it hits T1, I want to move my stop to break even and start trailing it. So I'm just going to have an alarm let me know when those targets have been taken or when my stop has been taken, and then I'm just going to close my computer and not look at it until my phone goes off. And I think that'll really help me to get the most out of my trades and to like help me to, like, not stress out, and also help me get my life back because I was just like micromanaging like crazy and it was just too much. So I'm just so far so good. I used that strategy on like 3 trades I got into on Friday and a trade I got into today, and I'm just not really stressed, and it's really nice. So I'm gonna do that on all my trades this week and see how that works out. Also, I realized, Ray pointed out that the reason why you micromanage is because you're bored. You're bored, so you want, let me check on my trade, So I realized that, I was feeling kind of bored last week, and I need to basically just, like, get some other stuff going on in my life. Like, right now, like, my only thing to do really is, like, work on my thesis or study or put in a trade or look at my trades or, like, study something else or something. So I just need to hang out with my friends. I need to have something else going on in my life for real. So I'm just going to, like, maybe, like, look up a yoga class or some volunteer opportunities this week so I can, like, get out of my own head and, like, just focus on, like, helping other people or doing something else. I really need to do that. Also, I was also feeling grateful that I had made money. Like, on the trades that I did make money, I was grateful for the money I made. Let me see. Another one of my rules was to, whenever I feel pressure to, like, check my trade or whenever I want to check on my trade or micromanage, one of my things was to, like, start writing down, like, a bunch of other stuff I could do with my time instead, and then just do one of those things. So one of the actions I'm going to take immediately after group coaching is to do, like, a 15-minute Pinterest workout. The first time I feel, like, pressure to micromanage, because there are a lot of cool workouts on Pinterest, and I haven't done any of them, so it might be kind of cool to do that. And I'm sure it'll happen. So behavioral goals this week: self-control, and do fun things to, like, avoid boredom that are, like, constructive in the community. Learning goals, self-control, and also I feel like when I analyze the trade, I'd like to have a better flow. So I'd like to maybe, like, just develop, like, a better, like, flow, because I realized in class when we have to, like, when you make us analyze a pair or whatever in front of everyone, I realized actually I could be a little more organized in how I, like, approach it and maybe approach it the same way every time. So I'd like to, like, work on making a better flow and how I check the macros and do MTFA and look for trades in class when I'm analyzing like a pair or something. And yeah, same as Ruba, I also didn't read that chapter, and I listened to you talk about yeah, just like I think I have been putting off a lot of stuff. I realized like studying real estate, getting my Roth IRA and stuff, and working on my thesis. I don't know why I've just kind of been pushing them off. And yeah, not really sure why, but yeah, you're right. You just have to yeah, basically just think, okay, there's no tomorrow, do it now. And I need to maybe like be a little more organized with my to-do list to chunk up my time and stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to like do that with my to-do lists from now on. Just like maybe like write my to-do list the night before and know what I'm going to do when I wake up. I should work on that right now. Okay, and that's it.
All right, very good. So, what will be the accountability then, Kate, in terms of that if you're not going to do it today, what will be the accountability?
I know for Micromanage, I owe you $500.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what you said.
Which one? Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one where you might start micromanaging. I thought you micromanaged already. Okay.
Oh, no.
So, by you not micromanaging your last trade, how did it feel?
It felt so good, honestly. It just felt so good because, like, I didn't want to pay $500, so there's no way I'm going to micromanage it, you know? So I just really gave it up to, like, the market gods, you know? It's like, okay, well, it'll hit my stop or it'll hit my target, and if it hits my target, my phone will go off, so I don't have to worry about it unless my phone goes off. So it was, like, liberating.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
just a matter now of just being consistent with it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, nice. Chris, your turn, please.
Let's see. So I was pretty calm last week. I did 3 trades. Now I'm counting the all of the like T1, T2, those kind of as one trade. So so I had 3 trades, 2 winners and 1 loss. And as far as I know, or as far as I could tell, the winners were kind of due to the conservative target setting that I had. So I didn't try to shoot for the moon, and so some of the closer targets were all good. And the losing trade, I'm really happy that we went over the trades today, because that's one of the things that I was trying to figure out is why didn't it work. But after we went over the trade in class today and also thought about it and also kind of saw what happened to the price afterwards, it gave me a really good sense of what was going on, and I kind of understand what happened. Let's see. So for this week, I'm shooting to do more trades. I think one of the things that was holding me back was kind of filling out the checklist was kind of time consuming for me, because 1 is new, and 2, there were a lot of different things that that I needed to kind of pay attention to. So now that I kind of taken the time to streamline it, it should be a much easier task to just kind of fill it out. So I'm kind of intending to do more trades, and then also 2, I should really get this week I should have my live account. So I will be dabbling into that as well. So splitting the trade between the live trade and the demo trade or demo account. Let's see. So improvement for this week. One thing that I realized was that there's all these extra confirmations that you talked about in class, right? As well as went over some of that with Jason this earlier this evening. So I'm going to be kind of looking at that and practicing that. Try to kind of incorporate that into the analysis. Let's see, and so yeah, so accountability is also really, for me, it's really just gotta make sure I do a lot more practices to kind of sharpen my my skill in this area. So as far as the book's concerned, I kind of finished the book already. So what I'm starting up is actually starting to read Mind Over Market. Is actually we actually started that book early on, and and so I kind of started reading it. It was really really interesting in terms of some of the dynamics of what's going on, kind of similar to what you've been talking about in class. So I'm kind of starting to go over that. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. So I kind of wanted to just kind of keep on going on reading that. And let's see. So that's pretty much it. I think like I said, the session in class today really kind of did wonders to help me understand what's going on.
All right, very good, Chris. So your job or your homework is to open up your live account, right?
Yep, I'm at the last step.
Nice.
Once the money's cleared.
Awesome. Very good. So I believe that's basically it in terms of consistency. I know someone asked, like, what do you normally do, like, in terms of your profits and stuff? I mean, there's really no secret to it except for you taking the money. That is the most important part. And the reason is because there's more for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
When there's abundance, okay, can I share? Just basically, the project starting from basically $100. I mean, I keep adding to whatever I receive basically from my son. I just basically add money into it. But nevertheless, but the 13th of April, that was the ending 2,276. So if you notice, everything here, holding cost, of course, price adjustments, these are all commissions, basically part of your holding cost. But just look in terms of the values. Like you see last week, there's no loss. This one holding cost, close trade, taking profits, and currently back up to 5,491, starting from 2,700 pretty much. So actually in a week, that's which I'm very happy with. Almost close to $3,000 basically in 1 week. So just basically excited what's going to happen now for the next one, for the next week, for the next week. So I'm also creating basically goals, and there's really no secret to it. I just take the profit and I basically run. If I know there's more room, then I leave it, I trail it. if there's reporting is bound to happen, then I basically just close. So that's basically it. High probability wins, then I keep adding more positions. Low probability wins, then it's like here, 6,000, 6 microlots, 6 microlots. I only got to put it in. I keep adding in if they're basically right now there's high probability in terms of the trade or the pair. So these are the trades that we did basically last week. It's the same. Anything that basically I suggest in class that goes basically across the board with my account. The end result will only vary is because I take the profit without being greedy, and then I take full responsibility part of that. If it goes beyond, then good. If it doesn't, then it's okay too. Euro dollar, for example, sell trade at 108.08. Took profit basically 107.30. What if it kept going? It's currently at 106. So what if we went to basically 106, currently 106 is the price. Currently in 106.76. So that's another 60 pips basically to the downside. Almost approaching 70 pips. But it's okay, right? Then I go to the next one, go to the next trade, go to the next trade, go to the next trade. Because there's more to come. And that's basically the key. The key is to take money. Keep taking money. It doesn't matter if it's $10, $5, $3. They all add up. At the end of the day, they will all add up. Trading is basically just a simple game. A game of numbers that can you keep increasing basically that number. If you could do that, then you'll make money. Right? And I'm going to keep updating and see where this will lead to. It's now 3 figures. Next it will be 4 figures. Soon it will be 5. Soon it will be 6. And then basically, the only problem actually sometimes when your account becomes bigger, sometimes they will keep an eye on you, and some of the trades either become slow. There's some form of manipulation, but you can go around with it actually, to be honest. But nevertheless, that's basically it. There's no secret to making money in terms of trading. There's a consistency. Take your money and run, basically. If you feel that it's right for you, take it. If you feel that it doesn't feel right, then get rid of it. Close it. All right. Any questions?
Yeah, that's quite impressive.
Thank you.
It is very inspirational.
Yes.
And exactly, it's why, if I can do this, you guys can do it. So some of the accounts have bigger accounts, but it doesn't really serve any purpose. I'm just basically showing the spot that, hey, if you can do something small, in actual fact, this is coming from free money. Well, it's free money because it's been given as a gift, but, you treat it pretty much as almost as your own, even if it's a gift. You can do that with credit cards. Well, not in the U.S. anymore, but overseas you can still basically do it. Do you have $500 in your credit card? Can you have the confidence to double it, triple it? If you can double it, then $500 is now free. Return it back. That's one thing actually I like it over here, 0% for 12 months. See how far you can make it in 12 months. So once you've made the capital, it's a free trade. It's zero risk already, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's have a quick break and we'll go through the intermediate class. I will actually just shut this one down and open up a new one, okay? So I will see you in about 2 minutes. Okay. All right. Oh, before we leave, actually, In terms of the book, chapter number 4 or 5, what did you learn from there? Let's start from Chris while I have you.
I need to bring up my notes. It's been a while since I read it.
Okay, gotcha. How about you, Rubo?
Mine was the same as the last week, the euphoria moments and the practice with the purpose.
Okay, gotcha. Caitlin?
Oh yeah, I didn't I don't remember what I read this time.
Oh, so chapter 5 was the placebo effect.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, it was kind of interesting that you know, you can the placebo effect kind of works across the board, regardless of whether it's on medicine or sports, or you know, it just kind of, I guess, is a positive thinking.
Nice.
Yeah, like just how like just how powerful like just telling yourself that you're gonna make it is. Like just telling yourself that. And yeah.
Very nice. All right. Great. Then we'll wrap it up from there. We'll see you guys in about a couple minutes or two.